Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. Today's minimalism video is going to be a minimal frugality video, and it is 6 ways how I build wealth in college. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it, let's go. Woo! Okay, number 1, passive income, buying stocks long term. I mentioned this point because that was one of the very first things that I did in my financial journey, was that I got the idea that, you know what, like I could live off dividends. So that's what I started to do. In my undergrad, I started buying stocks, and I started off really small scale. I think I put in 50 bucks and I bought my first stock, which was a Canadian bank. I'm Canadian, so it makes sense that I'd buy that. And I was like, with my goal of hopefully buying enough stocks that they could get converted into a drip. I'm not very good with these terms, but essentially a drip is like when your dividends has added up enough to be able to buy you a stock on its own. So that's what I did. I considered that maybe long term I would have enough dividend coming in to help pay some of my bills. That's the investment that I saw it. I saw it as a long-term investment instead of just like playing the stock market, like buy and sell, which I did do a little bit of, but primarily I bought to hold, and I still do own the stocks that I bought many years ago. So if you're considering some passive income, I think holding stocks long-term is a pretty good investment. On that note of passive income, just a little bit of a tip, like what kind of stocks to buy. I decided to be as safe as I could, and I just bought recession-proof stocks. And by recession-proof, I just mean like everybody has to pay the hydro bill, everybody needs to pay the bank, everybody needs to go to the grocery store and eat. So that's all that my stocks are composed of: banks, grocery stores, hydro companies. All right, number 2, a part-time job. So in my undergrad, I had a part-time job. I was a tutor and I taught English, and yeah, that is what fed me through medical school. So if you're considering picking up a part-time job, I think it would be good to keep you, I guess, accountable and not only like idle. There were periods of times where I didn't have a job and I'd start to get bored and I'd go shopping. So when I was working and studying, I didn't have time to go shopping between like studying and working. I just kept myself busy. And I mean, obviously the extra money coming in from the part-time job was also pretty sweet. So it doesn't have to be a lot of hours. Any money coming in is always great. Think of something that you're good at and throw that in there. I think as a student, it's good responsibility and it's money in your pocket. Number 3, budgeting. I was a super tight budgeter in undergrad. Everything that I bought and everything that I consumed, I recorded it to a T, because at the end of the month, it hurts to see the numbers, and knowing that kept me like really accountable, because I was like, okay, I'm not gonna buy that because then I'm gonna have to record it and then I'm gonna cry at the end of the month. So you know what, like let's just not do that to ourselves. And that was a really good strategy for keeping me on track with my budget. I think that if I didn't have a budget, I think I would have bought this, bought that, and I would have thought each purchase was not a lot. But that was the thing with budgeting. It helped reveal to me that all of the smaller purchases that I did really did add up. So as I got like used to budgeting as time went on, I became a lot more clear in understanding that the small daily purchases did add up, and I was a lot more regimented about it. Number 4, when buying my own groceries, I went for healthier and cheaper options. So let's first talk about healthier. I tried my best to buy like, I guess like unprocessed stuff. So I bought a lot of vegetables, I bought a lot of meat. That was primarily what my diet composed of. I guess you would call it keto. I tried not to buy processed stuff like cookies, cake, pasta. I don't know if rice is something in that. I didn't buy rice. I didn't have a rice cooker either. So rice was just not something that I ate. And then cheaper, I would buy stuff that wasn't branded. I would buy the no-name brand as best that I could, or just go between several brands. I just would pick whatever I thought was more affordable, whatever was cheaper, you know. I didn't sacrifice quality. Like I was never gonna buy a brand that tasted nasty just for the sake of like buying the cheaper brand. Like I still did have a couple like brands that I did prefer over others, but it was seldom. And I think that's how I would use my minimalism, where I felt like I wanted to splurge the money. That's where I splurged it and I wasn't guilty. In other areas I didn't really care about, then I just went with a no-name brand. Like I didn't really care what laundry detergent I used, but I might be particular about what cookie I decide to indulge in on the weekend. So it's just like a give and take. So in terms of my grocery, I did my best to eat as healthy as I could and as cheaply as I could. On the note of cheaply, I also tried my best to avoid unnecessary things. I did mention this in my other videos, but I tried my best not to buy processed unnecessary calories. So I tried my best to limit my snack intake to only a couple items that I really liked, and never to stock up on unnecessary snacks, because that was just hurting me health-wise and money-wise. All right, number 5, make your own coffee, make your own tea. When I was in China, coffee was considered, or I guess it still is, a luxury. Like if you go to Starbucks, it's like 45 starting RMB for a cup. $45 is like my grocery bill. Could you imagine like such ratios here in Canada? Is ridiculous. So from that, I learned to just make my own coffee and make my own tea in the dorm room. I would just like put instant coffee, add some hot water, same thing with the tea, boil some water, put a tea bag in, and a box of tea would cost me like 10 bucks, and it would have like 25 bags. But if I bought 1 cup of tea at like 7-Eleven, that was also like 10 renminbi. So when I thought about it, it made no sense for 1 cup being 10 RMB, or I could just buy the whole box and like make it it last for like a month or two. So I think that if you want to save some money in like the most pain-free way, I think is to just find a really cute mug that you like and make your own drink at home and spice it up with like a nice cup. Like I'm having coffee out of this owl mug, which some people on my Instagram have said was fire. So cheers. All right, and number 6, the most important key contributor I think to building wealth in college was I stopped buying so much clothes. I don't know like what it was, but when I was in college, I wanted to look fashionable. I wanted to fit in with my peers, this and that, whatever. And you try to express your individuality via your clothes. So for me, I really had to cull down the shopping. Like clothes really does add up. And honestly, if you really want to be practical, you only need enough clothes to last you 7 days of the week, maybe one more for laundry day. You don't really need that much clothes. And I say that because that was something that was like a massive realization for me in my minimalism journey through these past like 6 years. Having culled down the desire for more clothes was probably the most beneficial money tip I could give beyond, I don't know, having a part-time job and being like saving your money and investing in stocks. And I think we can extend this to other hobbies or things that you may really like. I don't know, for me, I really had to cut down on accessories like jewelry. I had to cut down on bags. I had to cut down on so many pairs of shoes. I decided to kind of create a capsule wardrobe for myself, and that for me was the, I guess, the budgeting method that I used to maintain like my clothes shopping habit in check, because I was like, I can't bring that home. Like that really gonna fit into my capsule, as opposed to, oh, I can't buy that because like I'm saving money. That didn't work for me. Like I was like, I could justify. I'm like, that shirt looks so cute on me, I'm gonna buy it. I was like, until something becomes like ratted and just like totally tattered, I just did not go out and buy clothes. I bought to replace, but I never bought for like a surplus or like an indulgence, and I did save a lot of money. There was one year that I think like my clothes finally gave out and I did shop, and I was shocked at how much I had spent on just like, I think like 5 or 6 items of clothing, a couple shirts and 2 pants, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot. And that was only, I shopped once in 4 years. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying you can't buy clothes. I mean, I still bought clothes, but definitely limit the amount of clothes shopping that you buy, because, you know, especially if you're not thrifting and you're buying it new in the store, you know, 20 bucks here, 30 bucks there, like there goes 50, double that twice a month, there goes 100. And it's like, let's have clothes sitting on our closet with the tag still on and you're not really wearing it. Alright, those are the 6 ways that I helped build wealth in college. I hope this video helped you out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!